swing, swing, not there, swing, swing. Hi, Mama.
Hey everybody, Sabrina here, and this is my husband Chuck. I know you've seen him probably in some of my other videos. I wanted to make a few different videos about labor mostly, and like late pregnancy, beginning of after having a baby and stuff. And one of the videos that we decided to do, or I should say I guess more like I decided to do and you're just going along for the ride.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is a video about what maybe dads would like to know when their wife is about to go in and have a baby. Chuck, what are maybe some of the things that you were expected to do, or what was expected of you?
Well, the main thing is to be there. Understand what your wife really would request in terms of whether she wants to take any type of drugs to help her along, or wants to go all natural the entire way. Understand that there might be times where she might be like emotional and what have you, and don't take it personally because she's just pushing with the hormones, and yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Well, also, I always talk about how much work the woman goes through in labor. I mean, as a man, how did you feel seeing that I was going through labor?
Well, I am a dairy farmer, so I know some people, hopefully no one's insulted by this, but there are comparisons that can be made, and I have helped along cows' calves many times, so the sight of the placenta, the sight of afterbirth and what have you, none of that really bothered me or anything.
Well, did nothing make you squeamish in that sense?
No, I wasn't very squeamish in the least bit.
Did you? I can't remember now. Did you cut the cord with any of them?
Only the last one.
The last one you did.
Only the last one.
His was very different, actually, I think, from most of them. Actually, interesting story with our fifth. He was the one that insisted I go into the hospital. I was in denial, and he listened to his gut. He was looking at me, and he knew it was time for me to go in. I mean, my water broke, so that...
You've never had your water break before.
No.
And this is where I bring up knowledge from the farm. When the water breaks, the pushing starts, plain and simple. There's no ifs, ands, buts, or maybes about it.
Some women don't have that.
No,
but I mean, yeah, in my case, I had two that my water had broken on its own, and I had two that the doctor actually broke it for me. One of which I was already fully dilated and pushing, but nothing was happening because the vital waters was in the way. So he just broke the water for me so that I could have the baby come, and that was our fourth. So that was why having the water break with our fifth before the contractions were even like 5 minutes apart yet. That was a little different. But I mean, the other thing is too, sometimes, as in the case with our fourth, I had said that I didn't think we should go in yet. But because our second and our third had gone so quick, then he was insistent that we go in right away. And actually going in right away makes labor a little more uncomfortable. I find that the second I hit the hospital, that's when it starts to get more uncomfortable. For some reason, laboring at home is easier. I'd love to do home birth, but he's uncomfortable with that. I'm uncomfortable with that because of my history.
Well, your complications, I don't think the hospital would let you.
No, it would probably be irresponsible of me to have a home birth at this point from what has happened to me in the past. One that I decided to write down: no cell phones. Men, do not bring your cell phones.
I made that mistake with the one. Never again.
Bring your cell phone, but don't go on it. Because unless you're like announcing the baby's birth or something, or quick text message to friends saying, hey, we're in the hospital, you pray for us or whatever. We had that with our fourth because of the hemorrhaging from my third. That was absolutely terrible. And because with our second, Funny story, I almost chucked his phone out the window. If I would not have been in the middle of contraction and would not have been incapacitated because I could not move, his phone would not exist anymore.
I had a situation where I had no idea what to do at that moment, so I was trying to keep myself occupied.
You figured it'd be another number of hours because we just got there, and the last time we'd gone there and I was at that kind of level, we still had a long ways to go. So we got there, I had just changed, I was walking through my contractions, and I had one, and it wasn't feeling very good, and he started laughing at something he'd read on Facebook. And I was just like, you put that phone away, I'm going to kill it, I'm going to kill you with it. I was so angry. I mean, took one look at me, and the phone was like, I'm not looking at it anymore, don't worry, I'm sorry. It was funny. It's a funny story now. At the time, it wasn't very funny to me, but it's a funny story now. A good idea for the men to have some snacks and food and stuff, just in case.
Yes, because they don't give food, the hospital food. You may be there for a long time, and you're not really in a position to leave. The hospital we went to, they have a lounge area where 1 year they had bread and margarine, unfortunately, and a bunch of juices in the fridge and what have you. But that was only the 1 year.
That was meant for those who were supposed to be there with their laboring wives.
And then,
unfortunately, word got around the rest of the hospital that there were snacks there. And they had to quickly get rid of it because they were having people from all over the hospital coming and taking the snacks. I found out about that one when we had our second. I had asked about that because I was like, I thought they had snacks and stuff here. Yeah. But with him, his was so fast that we went in, had the baby, and then he went out and went for supper. We had lunch before going in, had the baby, he went and had supper. But you don't know how long it's going to be. So, yeah. Pack some snacks, something that can sustain you, because guys, you're going to need something too. You're supporting your wife, and your wife needs that support. I mean, she's doing a lot of work, but guys, you're going to need something too. And even to support your wife as well, making sure you've got some snacks, some healthy snacks, maybe some that aren't so healthy that she would like, that you know she would like. Chocolate. Juice boxes. The hospital is usually very good about making sure that you're getting a lot of fluids. At least ours was very good with that. I don't know, maybe birth centers. I don't know how it is wherever you are. Check with your hospital, check with your birth center, or wherever it is you're going. If you're birthing at home, well, then you already know you've got what you need. And as the husband, noticing, sometimes you need to notice. Not so much with our last ones, once again, but with our first, it was the nurse that noticed, and she was like, hey, you need to drink some water. I was getting dehydrated, and I had no idea. Because when you're laboring, you don't notice things after a while. You're just so focused on trying to get through the contractions, especially when they're right on top of each other. In the beginning, it's not so bad, but when they're right on top of each other, then you're just trying to work through them. Like even the last baby we had, you could tell when I was going into and coming out of contractions.
Oh, that way, yeah.
Like you just look at your wife and you'll be able to see it, because when she starts going into a contraction, for me anyways, I start to focus on inside. I just focus in my own self. I can't see anything or notice the things around me. I just focus inward, and breathing changes, and when the contraction is coming to an end, you will see the breathing switching over again. You will see some of those changes again, usually. And in those moments, you could also look at your wife and see, does she need a drink of water, and just be there to offer it to her. Straws are wonderful because you don't have to move your head or anything. What else were we?
Baby care. Something I've found out I've never seen before is that first diaper change looks kind of freaky because the feces is black.
Yeah, the meconium. Meconium. I don't know if it's more M's or N's.
It's literally black, so it looks like this black paste stuff.
And it's sticky.
It
doesn't want to come off.
Be
You
willing
need a
to help
cloth.
out. Make use of their cloths. Learn how to do the diaper changing if you've never done it before. Which literally, when our first baby was born, that very first diaper change, that was the first diaper I've ever changed in my life. So,
Well, the nurses were also there to kind of
yes,
guide.
they will help out.
I couldn't move. I was out. I was unable to do anything in that moment except breastfeed and sleep because I couldn't. If your wife is having issues with holding the baby, I asked him to take the baby, which was fine. But later on, when I had hemorrhaging issues with my third, I didn't realize that skin on skin with the baby was very important to prevent hemorrhaging. So what we have now changed since then is if I'm getting the shakes and I can't hold the baby, instead of him taking the baby from me, he just comes and holds the baby on me in place, kind of together, and it's a bit of a bonding moment. But it's beneficial. It is very beneficial for the woman to have that skin-on-skin contact with the baby. It is also beneficial for the men, I think, to have that contact. The skin-on-skin contact from the mother and the baby is very important. So, guys, if your wife is asking you to take the baby, and like if she's insistent on taking the baby, then by all means. But maybe offer instead to just hold the baby in place because quite often, I mean, I felt like I was going to drop her when I'd had my firstborn because I had no muscle strength at all. I hadn't eaten for it was already like 30 hours. I hadn't eaten anything. I had had no sleep for about 2 days at this point, and I was just so exhausted. And I mean, each case is different, but in that case, the skin on skin is very important. It also helps with the delivery of the placenta. It helps with all the maternal hormones and everything to stabilize. So that's a thing.
I got one.
For you.
No smart aleck comments about timing.
No. That's a funny story.
We had gotten one of those change table dressers.
Yeah, the combos.
As a gift from her parents. And I spent the evening before assembling that thing.
Midnight.
And
finished
at midnight, I got it finished, and I made the smart aleck comment that, hey, if you start going to labor at 2 o'clock in the morning, at least the room's ready. Well, 2 o'clock in the morning.
2 o'clock in the morning.
She woke me up.
I nudge him and I'm like,
it's time.
Chuck, what time is it? He goes, 2:03 a.m. Why? I'm like, I think I'm in labor. I never let him live that down. It's always
careful in the comments.
I said, next time, say, okay, now if you go into labor at 10 in the morning. Because I like 10 in the morning. 10 in the morning is good. 2 in the morning I don't like.
Be ready to sleep over on their silly chair bed thing that they have. Other places are like that, but I could not sleep on there.
Some of the rooms that they had at our hospital, they don't actually have an option for the husband to sleep. And filling out paperwork. Yes,
very important.
Please, guys, do that for your wives. If you can.
There's a birth certificate, social insurance. I'm not too sure what the American requirements are, but yeah, in Canada,
we get all the papers. We get all the papers at the hospital, and it is best to fill them out at the hospital and hand them in. We forgot. There was a couple with our last one because of how busy things were. And we were out within. I had one night there. I stayed one night because I was just tired of moving room to room, and so we brought the papers home, and then we had forgotten about them. So we actually didn't fill out the birth certificate paper until he was about 3 months old. And that was fine, but then it took another, it took forever for the birth certificate to finally come in. Probably because it was so much later and it wasn't filed through the hospital, because the hospital, I guess, sends it in by a different means.
Also make sure that the child's safety seat is ready.
Yes.
Make sure that it's clean. Well,
for me, it's important that it's clean.
For if it's the first baby, it's a brand new seat anyways. Make sure if you got the base for it, it's already locked in the vehicle and ready to go.
Go in beforehand, even.
You can do it. You can
go
do
to the fire department or wherever and double check. Make sure, is this seat going to be okay for me to take the baby home in? They will not allow you to leave the hospital with an expired seat.
Yeah.
So double check expiration dates before you go in.
Yeah, just be there where you can when the baby comes home. Help out making food. Don't try to help keep things tidy as best as you can. And if you got the time off, take advantage of it. Don't use it as a vacation time for you. It's not. It's a time to help your wife. It's not a time for you to go spend time with the boys or whatever.
Nighttime feedings and nighttime.
Yeah, nighttime help out where you can.
Diaper changes. One of the biggest things that helped me when we had the babies was, especially when I had issues. I had issues getting up. So then he would actually get up and bring the baby to me.
Yep.
I mean, it kind of seems unfair, you're both waking up at that point because I was nursing, so he couldn't feed the baby. But he would get up and he would bring me the baby, and I would nurse the baby, and he would change the baby's diaper and put the baby back to bed. We had a nice benefit where we actually had a bed really close by. So most nights I was able to do it on my own. After a certain point. In the beginning, though, for some of the babies, especially with our third, because of the hemorrhaging, I couldn't get up. I had a very hard time. There were times where I was trying to get up and I literally could not get out of bed. So that was very, very helpful. That's our tips. They're not really a numbered amount. We just kind of went through whatever we could think of. I mean, yeah, you've been through this 5 times, and we're going on the 6th time, and the anticipation is that it will go as normal. Normal as a setting on a dryer.
Normal as a setting on a dryer.
Yeah.
Okay, wrap it up.
Wrap it up. He's very just get her done.
I'm not one to ramble.
No, I am. We make a good pair. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that some of those tips may have helped you. If you have any other tips for dads-to-be or even for the mums-to-be, please leave a comment down below and let us know your tips as well, things that you found beneficial or useful. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a blessed week.